back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. This is a new interview done by JLR Investigates. Please like, share, and subscribe to his channel. He does wonderful interviews. And this is a DoorDash driver in Idaho, Moscow. He has delivered food to 1122 Kings Road before, especially Maddie. Let's hear what he has to say. It's under fair use purpose.
Hi Gabe, it's Jonathan Riches. How are you?
Hold on here. Let me, sorry, I have to put you on speaker because my phone doesn't work otherwise.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
So I appreciate you reaching out to me, and wanting to, talk a little bit about, what's going on in Moscow. I know that you shared with me about volunteering at the Mad Greek and about you out there saw a white Hyundai Elantra in the Walmart parking lot.
Right. Yeah. So, when I just sent you another email, and when I volunteered there, it was to help my wife. Like, everybody knew that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
They always had like staff shortages and stuff, and a lot, and my wife, we have kids and stuff, and I wanted her home. And when people don't show up for work or go home or whatever, I would just go in and help her or whatever, because, I didn't want her doing it all. So it wasn't like I had a actual volunteer position there. It was just something I would go in and do because I wanted to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and as far as the girls go, I didn't know them. I mean, they were there. I saw them. But one thing I can say is that my impression of them, they were beautiful people. And I can say that because I'm a big guy. I have a lot of tattoos. I have missing front teeth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very self-conscious. And if you don't know me, or take the time to talk to me, I can appear to be kind of scary,
Yeah.
And these girls, and they didn't just treat me this way, and not just them, but all the girls there that were servers. They're full of life, happy, and they always treated me with real respect. They look at you in your eyes when you would talk to them. Mm-hmm. They were genuine, and really respectful, and that's really what hurt so bad, is because these were just good humans,
Yeah.
And then when I saw that car, the thing that I was thinking was, how many other people pass by that car in Moscow? And there's not very many of those cars in Moscow, right?
I thought there was many thousands of white Hyundai Elantras in Idaho, Moscow. But it's interesting because he did voluntary work at the Mad Creek restaurant, and we know that Maddie and Zana used to work there.
I thought to myself, this, when I called the police and then they said, don't tie up the line, we'll give you another number to call. Then I got transferred 2 more times, and I was like, well, this is getting nowhere. So I just took a YouTube video, and posted it before the FBI ever got onto the phone.
Okay, so so that occurred today. So just because we're doing an interview here, like that was at 3:00 today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, so 3 o'clock yesterday.
Yep.
You were what? Just driving past the Walmart and you saw the white car out there. A white car out there. The white Honda.
Pretty much like I was parked in the parking lot, so I'm always at Walmart because I'm a Walmart Spark driver.
Mm-hmm.
So and I drive about 200 plus miles a day.
Yeah.
Every day, 7 days a week. So when they said, "Hey, we're looking for this car like this," I was like, "Well, shoot, man, I travel probably more than anybody that I know in this area." And so I went out of my way to I was looking at Hondas and Toyotas and all sorts of stuff, and then so I was had my eye out for it, but yeah, I mean the police haven't given called me or anything like that. They probably won't, I mean I'm nobody,
Yeah, so you said you called the Moscow police and then they transferred you around. Did you actually speak to an FBI agent or anybody from the FBI?
Well, it was somebody from the FBI.
Yeah.
I called. They ended up transferring me there, and I was on hold, and I had to press all these correct buttons.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI tip line. And then, and I left an anonymous tip. They were like, "Hey, you sure you don't want to leave your name?" And I was like, I was like, "No, you're the FBI. I'm sure you know all that, but
yeah.
No, I'm not just going to give you my name, But yeah, I mean, we're just, this is a community where people don't lock their doors.
Yeah.
Nobody does. People leave their bikes outside.
Mm-hmm.
People leave, their doors open during the day when they leave for work, like the sliding door or something. And so now it's really changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the atmosphere between, especially with the students, is very you could cut the tension with a knife. It's like everybody's looking at everyone as a suspect.
Wow.
And that's another thing I kind of wanted to just share with you about, because I was watching your videos, like early on I found you.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I and I know it's not you, but I noticed that, all these sex offenders,
mm-hmm.
I just, I ended up seeing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that guy, he works here. Oh my gosh, I know that guy, he lives across the street. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, oh, you know what I mean? That might not be real good for the community because maybe other people didn't know, and these people were allowed to kind of move on with their life, and hopefully they're not bad anymore,
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it affected me. After a while, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to shed light on these people, because who knows if.
Many people called the FBI, and it seems like it was difficult to get through. So I wonder how many people got tired of waiting and had important information. Shouldn't they make the information line with the FBI and Moscow police more easier to access? And I do understand where it's coming from with SOs, because I hope people don't treat them badly because they decided to come forward with information. I admire them for doing that because that's quite brave. Usually people wouldn't want to put themselves in the spot, especially with a background like that. But I'm sure they did it to get justice for these four innocent victims.
Yeah, no, I get it. So are you saying right now everyone is looking at everybody suspiciously, like when you go down the street, everyone's just
Yeah, so for instance, I walked I walked to the grocery store 2 nights ago because it was snowing so bad that I didn't want to drive.
Yeah.
Right? On my way to the grocery, and I was wearing a hood and, I was all, dressed warm. But on my way to the store, I saw multiple people walking. People would cross the street to avoid walking next to me.
Wow.
Which never happens.
Yeah.
And if you are staring or appear to be staring at someone or something, they'll start running away, or just people are locking your doors when you walk by their cars. That's not normal for Idaho, for this part of Idaho. So this part of Idaho was rated the best place to raise children, I think like two times in a row, like recently.
Yeah.
And Moscow has this problem with like the cult atmosphere, with the Christian church atmosphere, cults and stuff here already. So the town is already kind of split in a huge way from some of the churches in town and what they've done and are doing. And so when you have something like this happen already to kind of a divided place, it's really hard. It's really hard to see because the college kids here are the main source of income for 2 cities, 2, 3, 4 cities surrounding.
Yeah.
And now 40% or more of the kids haven't even returned, because out of fear or wanting to stay alive. And it's just really turning this town upside down.
Yeah. So
and the police here, they're overwhelmed. These guys are like more like peace officers, right? They're peace officers, right? Than police. I mean, they'll have like the occasional alcohol bust or something like that, but they don't really deal with this kind of stuff. They're over their head, and they got the whole country wanting answers, and it's just it's sad, but you can't get blood out of a turnip. You know what I mean? And the fact that this white car that they knew. That this white car, all along, that there was this car, is what I heard, and then they just pretty much released to the public. I mean, that's negligent. That's gross negligence. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've delivered to their house like so many times, and that whole neighborhood over there is a DoorDash, Uber Eats magnet. There were probably hundreds, I kid you not, deliveries in that area. DoorDash, because there's apartments over there, all sorts of stuff. Hundreds of addresses over there. And with every DoorDash picture, you have to take delivery, you have to take a picture. Why aren't DoorDash delivery pictures being talked about? Why, that are nearby in the area? I guarantee there were dozens of them at least.
So do they do DoorDashes like in the middle of the night there, like how they say the status?
Yeah, yep, 24 hours a day. Yep.
Really? Have you ever been to the house? You said you were there?
Yeah.
Maybe the police did not need to tell the public about the white Hyundai Elantra, because that is something they found out either later or they decided to use that car for whatever reason. Like maybe many of the students who were involved pointed out Brian Christopher Koberger's car. But yes, that was negligence. They should have told the public what they had because people were in fear. Another thing is, I found it really unprofessional of the police and Idaho University to let the students go home for the break, Thanksgiving break. They shouldn't have, because imagine if the people who did it, the suspects who did it, or the suspect who did it, was part of the people who went home.
There?
I've been there many times. I haven't been inside. I've made deliveries there. I've been a DoorDash driver in this town for 2.5 years. And I deliver Walmart Spark. I do Uber Eats. I do point pickup. I 200 miles a day. I spend delivering.
What did you do? Do you remember like who you had interacted with there? Who like came out to get the whatever you?
Oh yeah, it was Maddie. Maddie was she knew my wife. Everybody loves my wife, so she knew my wife. So she just thank you for the food and bye. she knew, so she just thank you for the food and bye.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. There's so many deliveries over there and that's the other thing is all the bushes back there, all the parking lot. People walk through every inch, even the big hills and the forest and all that. So all that area back there is all connected. People constantly are walking, jogging, slipping down the hill, whatever it is, trying to take a shortcut,
To where? To go to the university?
Right behind that house, right in that community, right off Queen Road.
Yeah.
A lot of cars, so there's so many deliveries over there and that's the other thing is all the bushes back there, all the parking lot. People walk through every inch, even the big hills and the forest and all that. So all that area back there is all connected. People constantly are walking, jogging, slipping down the hill, whatever it is, trying to take a shortcut,
To where? To go to the university?
Right behind that house, right in that community, right off Queen Road.
Yeah.
Taylor Avenue. That's all. Most of those kids are people that live over there are like college kids. So they usually don't have a lot of cars, so they're always walking. Trying to take shortcuts and avoid getting hit by a DoorDasher.
So there's actually no like really homeowners that live there. They rent. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean there was a bunch of people there, and people talk about that being a party house. I've seen parties there. I've heard parties there, and they were nothing outrageous. They were nothing, nothing that wasn't going on right across the street. If you know what I'm saying. That whole area over there that's just how it is. People having fun and being young and wanting to.
So if there's so many people that go by foot from Linda Lane, Taylor Avenue, Queens Road, Kings Road, wouldn't it have been easier for the suspects who did this quadruple murders to come by foot? Why would someone use a car to get all the attention? And I'm sure when the neighbors and students were asked if they heard any cars, like yesterday the interview that played with Caden, I'm sure he didn't hear any cars because maybe the people were on foot. We saw the 4 figures running, so it's very possible that people were on foot.
Wanting to enjoy not being on finals week, or celebrating getting over it, or whatever. I mean, we especially for me in the gig economy. So
what is gig economy? What is the gig?
Yeah, I've taken like Uber Eats, Uber Eats, DoorDash. I've taken quite a hit from the kids being home. My income has gone down $500 to $800 a week.
Since this happened?
Yes, since the murders happened, yeah.
Why? Is it just people just not wanting people to come to their homes, or are they just staying in and they just...
I think it's a little bit of that, but I think mostly that it's the same thing that happens after the kids leave for summer break or winter break.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing that happens. It's just dead. You know, nobody's wanting deliveries, and then you know, I've been having people come out of their house. Why are you here? You know, what are you doing here? You know, I'm making a delivery. So people are really on edge.
Yeah.
There's other drivers who have had guns pulled on them.
Wow.
You know, people are just really, really sketched out.
Yeah.
And the police have a responsibility to this community and to the oath that they took. To not keep information private. I'm sorry, but you don't keep information private. I don't. That's, you know who wants to keep things private? Liars. Liars want to keep things private.
Yeah.
People that don't want the truth want to keep things private. And that things need to be shouted from the rooftop. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And brainstorm, throw everything out there like you're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, could it be this? Hey, could it be that? And then let people make up their own mind. You know, we're not robots. You know, that we just believe what we're told.
So you are a proponent of openness and transparency, just with what's going on.
100%.
Wow. So people are pulling up guns on the DoorDash drivers. Door delivery. Isn't that strange? The question is, do they have a permit to carry the guns or not? And even if they have the permit to carry the guns, it just shows how many people could have had weapons to do the quadruple murders. And I'm sure plenty of people have knives. The reason I say that is because isn't Idaho a hunting town? So people are pulling up guns instead of calling the police if they're unsure. And that is definitely because the police haven't given them any other choice. They're left to defend themselves. Look at how unprofessional things were done. Completely unprofessional by the police. They weren't being transparent. I do understand they have to keep certain things. I do understand they have to keep some things close to the vest or chest. But when you have a whole university that is in fear and pulling up guns on the delivery drivers, that is really unprofessional. And we know how they handle the crime scene, the forensic part. People are just going in without the forensic gear.
People were hurt more than all of the others.
Yeah.
That's something that should be told to everybody, so that maybe people feel a little bit of comfort, thinking, hey, you know what, maybe that's because, you know, that person had some really bad interaction with someone, and then they did that to them, and I won't do that, so I'm going to be okay.
But the unknown, where no one knows what this is about, who it could be, which one they had a beef with, is just putting everyone on edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally on edge. I mean, totally. I mean, like I said, you can cut it with a knife. It's so thick in the air.
Have you seen police do extra patrols? Have you seen police going down the streets patrolling more since this happened?
Yeah, but I've never seen them stop anyone. So it's kind of like, yeah, they're there. You know, like they're parked pretty much 24/7 on Taylor Avenue, and there's two of them, and sometimes there's four of them that are in that area of the patrolling. But I probably see about 7 or 8 cars beyond the Moscow normal cars, and actually it's died down like quite a lot. Probably half of the amount of the cars that I've been noticing have been gone in the last week, and it's kind of like skeleton, numbers now.
So was that the same time last year, or the same thing, or is this just because you think it's because of this tragedy?
Yeah, I think it's because of this crime. Yeah,
it's scaring people away.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, what do you think the long-term effects of this, as if it goes unknown and it still just drags out where they don't have any idea? I mean, do you think it's going to mess the economy up there?
My personal opinion is, and it's just my personal opinion, but I would hate to have some sick individual in our community who looked at this case unsolved, 4 murders, and say to themselves, "Hey, maybe this would be a good time for me to exact, my thing that I wanted to do because I won't get caught." You know what I mean? And I think that's the danger that exists. Oh, if you want to commit this kind of crime, come here, because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Gotcha. It's kind of like a magnet for criminals to come.
I'm sure the victims' fathers and mothers are probably thinking the same thing. They're probably thinking, why would anybody want to stay there or whatever when something's, I mean, how much blood has to be, everywhere, and for them not to have any prints, that's what's super scary.
Yeah.
Like, how hard would it be for you or me to go in any place even with gloves on and not leave any kind of physical evidence?
No DNA.
No DNA, no nothing. I mean, and I don't have any reason to think this, but because the call didn't come till 11 or 12 or whatever like that, right? I personally think that all the people that came over there before the police got there, they could have came over there and cleaned. They could have came over and wiped shit down. Yeah. They could have done a number of things that we're not privy to. There's just so much room for. Why did the police clear the 2 people that were living there? Yeah. I want to know why.
Do you know them?
No, I didn't know them. No, not. I mean, I probably. I mean, it's a small town, so you see the same faces all the time everywhere. Everybody shops at the same places. There's only 3 supermarkets here.
Yeah.
Or 4 supermarkets here. So I mean, but yeah, I mean there's just something needs to give. I mean, someone knows something, and obviously the police aren't going to be the ones that crack this case. I mean, when police reach out to the public, one time it's a big deal, much less all the times that they've reached out. So, they can't really sit there and say, hey, online sleuths and blah, 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 and misinformation is going to get you charged and blah, 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 because you know what? You asked for our help.
They did.
You guys have nothing.
You're right. They did ask in the public for help.
You know what I mean? So don't bite the hand that feeds you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just but yeah. So I don't know what I can offer to help.
No, I wanted. It's good that you're giving a wonderful perspective of what life is like there right now while this is going on. Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I make 40 deliveries, sometimes more a day. I go to 40 people's houses a day since this has happened, and I have a really good, everybody that I talk to wants to talk to about this. It's on their mind. It's have you heard? Do you know it? Is there anything latest out? It's literally, and that's what I think the danger of not solving this is. It needs to be solved. It needs to be, I don't know what the answer is.
Would there be a tipping point for you, like if they didn't solve it, to where you would get your family and get out of there, or are you staying put?
No, I'm gonna stay put. I've always trusted the Lord with my life and with my family side.
Yeah.
So if the Lord unfortunately called me or my family home, I trust Him with my soul. So it's not okay, but it's like I can't afford to go anywhere. We came here to live a better life. We're not from here.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at, and if the community needs healing, then we're gonna carry around Band-Aids.
Yeah.
And but.
No, I appreciate the conversation. I wanted to get some perspective, and I'm going to show your video, of that car, the white Hyundai that everyone's looking for, and you saw one at Walmart.
Right.
I wonder if they actually came and looked at it, or do you think somebody? What do you think?
I sat there for probably another 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing happened. I didn't see anybody walk out to it, but what struck us as odd is that where it was parked, it was like somebody wanted it seen, because it was like on the very end of the row.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just weird. It's just weird. And then I came back about a half hour later after I did an order, and the car was gone.
Interesting.
So, and I've been back today, and I've been down every aisle looking for it, and I haven't found it.
Interesting. Is it with
Right.
the Mad Greek, right? So, do you
Right.
think it's possible, maybe somebody maybe preyed on Xana and Maddie from the Mad Greek, like a customer, someone obsessed with them, and maybe stalked them?
Well, I mean, of course, I can't, I can't speculate, but I know that every place has regular customers.
Yeah.
I know that, and Mad Greek is one that has regular customers too. And it's a place where you could go and you could sit down for an hour or two,
Mm-hmm.
and just not be bothered. So a lot of that stuff is possible, and I would say anything is possible, because we don't know.
Is the
We don't. I didn't know that the owner of Mad Greek was an SO. I had no clue. I thought the owner of Mad Greek was a lady named Jackie. I had no clue that it was owned by, or part of this other company, and owned by that guy. But that guy is my neighbor, two blocks down.
Are we talking about? Wait, were we talking about the Mad Greek or the business behind it?
The business behind it, that guy you showed me a picture of in the email,
Yeah.
and said that was the owner. Yeah, he lives by my house, and I had no clue that he was even the owner. So it must be run by someone else or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So the Mad Greek, that's right by the grub truck, right? The grub truck,
Correct. Not. You could throw a rock at it from the alleyway.
Did you hear anyway how Maddie and Kaylee got from the corner club down to the grub truck? Did they walk?
No, all I heard was from news reports that they had took an Uber, and then it changed to a private party. But I do Uber, and I know that we're listed as private, like a private party, so that might be one and the same. But initially, I thought, just out of my gut that I wonder if it was the Uber driver. I wonder if because here's the thing: if the police cleared the Uber driver because they saw that he went home or something like that, that just means his phone went home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that he didn't go home, put his phone there, drive back.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour drive. I heard the Uber driver was from Lewiston, so it's about a 45-minute drive. Back to Lewiston. So if the police cleared him because he went back to Lewiston.
Oh, so you're saying even if he did. So you're saying this driver that took them back to the house was a guy from Lewiston?
That's what I heard. It could just be rumor, but I heard that's what the police released. At first that it was an Uber driver, then they changed the story and said, oh, it was a private party.
Yeah.
But they didn't give the private party's name. But initially I caught that it was a Uber driver from Lewiston.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that was, the day of the murders or the day after when all the news was brand new and they were still changing it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the conversation. You put some things into perspective. I don't even know what else to ask in the sense that,
Well, I would just keep I would just say that I would plea with people in Moscow and Pullman to come together.
Yeah.
And to not think about those girls and how they died, but how they lived. Because even the brief interactions that I had with them, I felt warm and I felt good. And when I saw them at work, they were always smiling and having a good time. And I'm sure that they had really beautiful families and really beautiful lives, and that those are worth, focusing on and talking about them and bringing the human element back in. But Moscow needs to heal.
Yeah, and they need answers too, right?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing, the police need to be more. What other information do they have that they're holding on to that if the public just knew that they could, break the case open? I mean, that's what the website says. Hey, if you have something suspicious or something that could, just don't gloss over it. Let us know. It could be the thing. Do
you have do you have confidence in the police chief?
What's that?
Do you have confidence in the police chief at this time?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's bad at his job. I just think, who's prepared for this? I mean, how many times was the crime scene contaminated, before the police ever taped anything off?
Yeah.
I mean, they were taping off the back parking lot a week after.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? A week after.
Actually, they were taping off the crime scene or expanding it 2.5 weeks later. Because I remember I was watching Fox News, and while the Fox News reporter was there, that is when it happened. And Fox News discussed about that. So this is an excellent interview. He gave us a lot of insights. And he's a DoorDash driver. I wish he was around to do another interview just to explain how the DoorDash driver, Uber drivers work, because the affidavit said that at 4 a.m. at night on the 13th of November, a DoorDash driver came and delivered Jack in the Box, I believe, or food for Xana. But I always believed that if the Sigma Chi boys, allegedly other fraternity boys, did this, they would have ordered, or anyone inside the house, like the surviving roommates. It's easy for them to order on Xana's name. And they could have been on Xana's TikTok, allegedly. That's just my opinion. My beliefs have been really strong since the beginning about that. After seeing the four figures running, after the Banfield, all the nonsense going on there with Said watching crime scene pictures, Joe Vito watching crime scene pictures, and Aiden, the guy with the long hair. We saw many other people watching crime scene pictures in the grub, at the grub truck, and we heard people yelling Xana's name. Why wasn't the police asking for more information all the time? They just asked for it twice, I believe, thrice. And it's like when people were calling to give them information, they weren't even picking up.
You know what I'm saying? A week after.
And one thing that you said that, I also noticed maybe like a week after they were, analyzing tire tracks. A week after, and
Right.
I actually did a report on that saying, why a week later? Why didn't they
Right.
do it the same day or the 14th?
Right.
A report on that saying, why a week later? Why didn't they
Right.
do it the same day or the 14th?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they should. I've heard nothing about DoorDash pictures or whatever, but I kid you not, there's got to be 150 apartments right around there. I
Yeah.
guarantee people got deliveries that night, and I guarantee people took pictures of the deliveries, and who knows what they got in the background. It's a
That is an excellent question. He's a very intelligent man. Excellent question. And I wonder if the police ask the delivery drivers for their footages, just in case there were four figures running, allegedly, or more, or much more things happening. They shouldn't have left any stone unturned.
high traffic area for DoorDash.
What about this car, right? How could this car is there surveillance on like the main streets? I know there's one main street there. I mean, is there street cams and surveillance around there that would have captured this car?
So that neighborhood, interesting enough, that neighborhood all is kind of the wealthier side of Moscow, and most, if not all, the houses there have doorbell ring cameras.
Yeah.
On the road going both ways.
Interesting.
So I don't get it. I just there's a gas station right there. There's the police station right there, the new one that they just built. There's so many cameras, so many there's only like a couple cell phone towers. I just don't see how they don't know exactly who was there,
Yeah, or maybe
really
maybe they know and they're just keeping that quiet.
Yeah, I mean, why is the Wi-Fi router not being talked about? They had Wi-Fi there, right? So people automatically connect to the Wi-Fi, and if they were there before, they automatically sign on. Why aren't we being told who those people are?
Interesting.
And if you know what I'm saying, that there's all sorts of stuff that we could be helping as the public, But right now, I hear people suspecting the Sigma Chi or whatever, the fraternity. I mean, and the thing is, if it's untrue, I mean, are these kids' lives going to be negatively impacted now? Are their futures going to be, have a black stain on them because they're not actually cleared, in the public side? Nobody wants to think of those kids as possible suspects. Let's get them out of the way. Let's talk about it, you know?
You raise a great point there. You know, the longer it stays unsolved, then there's like a stain on these guys' reputations, because, you know, people might think, hey, they're involved moving forward until someone is held accountable.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't want to take up all your time. I know.
No, I appreciate this, you know, and I'm gonna share what you said. You know, I like what you said about, you know, the healing that Moscow needs to heal.
Yeah, and not just for this. I mean, we need to heal from the cult. You know, what do they call them? They call the people that go to Christchurch Kirkers. And I mean, we need to heal from that too. We just need to see everybody as equal, and everybody as important, and everybody as someone that we could love, and not have a reason to hate them.
Appreciate the conversation, Gabe. Thank you for the chat, and thank you for the insight of what's going on in Moscow, Idaho.
I really don't understand him when he speaks about the Sigma Chi fraternity, of them not getting a bad label, just in case they were not involved, or the fraternities. I don't understand that. But now I'm going to tell you my opinion. I believe I was the first one who started with the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, and I have a legit reason to. After I found the pictures Saeed and the three boys in Banfield were watching, and after I found Jovito, although he's not a fraternity boy, and all number 8, number 9, all the dodgy, fishy things that were happening, suspicious things that were happening, people yelling out Xana's name, no Xana, no Xana, and they're keeping on yelling his name. Watching all those pictures, some are blurry figures, but many of them are very okay figures or pictures if you zoom into them. After reading the 4chan article, because the young man, or this gentleman who's been giving the interview, clearly spoke about the Wi-Fi. And it's a legit question. It's a good question that the police need to check the Wi-Fi. But in the 4chan, they said clearly that they would do this within 19 minutes. They would have 4 people doing this crime, or a couple of people. And they said that they wouldn't take their phone devices so that the Wi-Fi wouldn't catch it. So there's many reasons why the Sigma Chi fraternity is on my radar. There were 4 figures running. They were running to the direction of Sigma Chi. The 4chan article, it seems like it was one or two of the Sigma Chi boys trying to take credit for the job they've done. They mentioned 3 motives: Maddie, Xana, E. They mentioned that clearly. So I guess everyone has their own thoughts and opinions in this case. And I have mine. And that's the reason I explained why I mentioned the Sigma Chi's. Another thing, the president of the Sigma Chi said that they do not have a DoorDash, or what's it called, a CCTV camera in front of the fraternity, in front of the Sigma Chi fraternity. That is important. Plus, another thing that my focus has been on the Sigma Chi is because Ian and Xana were there last. Were they followed home? So Sigma Chi comes in no matter what. Please like, share, and subscribe. This was for fair use purpose. Thank you, JLR Investigates. Please like and share and subscribe to his channel. He's excellent with interviews. Have a lovely weekend, guys. Bye.